Yo, Felix, man. I was checking out your website and seeing how from when I first started watching your videos, and then when I first met you, you're very well spoken, you're very articulate, and your website is money where you, and I want you to add some color to that for us, man. How you work with corporations, and then you probably have the ability to work with the Houston Texans or the Oakland Raiders or the Detroit Lions or the New York Mets or the San Antonio Spurs to get them goddamn physically right, man, and all of that is on your website. Could you talk a little bit about your website and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, this goes back to knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Like it's, as we know, people who are doing like half-ass stuff make a ton of money because, now hear me out, listen to what I'm saying, is because they dupe people into thinking like, look, I'm gonna get you this, and they talk all nice and whatever, but the whole reason behind what they promote is to make money. For me, in the contrast, it took me a lot to begin to charge people for stuff because I'm like, I want to help people. I want to help.
Yeah.
And that's one of my main reasons for starting YouTube as well. Is like, look, you don't need money to watch a YouTube video. You don't have to pay me to watch a YouTube video. Even if you don't want to pay me after whatever, you're like, hey, I got these results, I want more, I'll still make video for you to indulge in. But now these are the people who are like, look, Irv, you put out a lot of high quality stuff. Like, sometimes I pay people for your service and they don't give me what you even give for free. And so that's when, like, a lot of the first client I had that, like, really, he was an entrepreneur and he really was like, he said, yo, I want you to train me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we sat down, talked. I gave him my prices and he was like laughing. He's like, what is this? And I'm thinking it's too much. I was charging $25 for a session. And he's like, okay. He scratched out everything, he did some math, and then he showed me the paper, and he's like, this is what you're gonna charge for now on. It was he asked me a couple questions, he's like, show me the people like you got results from. I showed him pictures of the people I've worked with and like their stories and whatnot, and he's like, okay. He wrote this up, he's like, this is the starting price, $125 per session. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, that was foreign to me. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, look, people will take you more seriously if you price
charge
at
more.
This point.
You gotta charge
and
more.
That was probably one of the truest things that like I've actually seen the contract for. He's like, yo, people will associate, and here's the thing, you might be providing quality, but the fact that it's free and people are taking it, is like they don't find as much value in it.
Right.
So by giving that extra, they're like, okay, now they have an incentive because they paid something, you know, and now they feel like invested. They feel invested. So to answer your question, I just had to give like that quick little backstory. Business Body Elite. This is the concept that like people say they don't have time, which I understand when people say they don't have time.
You can find the website underneath this video.
Yes, businessbodyelite.com. Check the link. But a lot of people say they don't have time, and here's what they mean.
Don't have time to work out?
To work out. They don't have time to work out. Not just work out, but take care of their health. Think about these things like, oh, what do I have to eat? Sleeping, these recovery, things like this. And I understand, like, it can be overwhelming for someone who has so much going on with their life already, and they're like, now if I want to start to get fit, like that's a whole bunch of other stuff I have to learn. I have to pay a personal trainer. I have to, you know, get a dietitian. I have to get a therapist, all these things. And it's like overwhelming. What do I do first? How do I start? And having a job and being so consumed with this stuff, it's like,
go ahead, Phil, go ahead.
Yeah, being all consumed with this stuff, it's overwhelming. So my direction with starting Business Body Elite was allowing people to cut through all that fluff and realizing that a lot of people in the workplace, they don't realize that you could do what is called a cumulative exercise and taking small, consistent actions over time. So we developed Business Body Elite to really like give people bite-sized action steps, educate them where to start, personalize. Like everyone is different. You might want to lose weight. You might be obese and want to lose weight. I might like, no, I need to gain weight. So the approach is totally different for each person. And the only way to know that is like to take in data, and we're really big on data. Like the number one thing that we do, number one, is like intake data, how to interpret the data, and then relay it into simple information. Not saying like, oh, the sarcoplasmic reticulum is a specialized ion. You know, who understands that? Nobody knows what that means. Muscle fiber, fast twitch. No, making it simple is something that you can execute on the daily. So we have like workplace wellness programs where you can work out without leaving your chair. You know, using bands, doing things like that, sitting there, stretching in your chair.
Check them out, y'all.
Yeah, going through a full routine without moving from your office. You stay there and you can work out right there and get results. You don't have to go in the gym for 2 hours and work out hardcore. People like athletes, that's their job. Their job is to look that way, is to perform that way. That's not your job. Your job is to do what you're doing at your workplace and perform well, be able to do it at an optimal level. Now, 30 minutes of exercise, like accumulative throughout the day, you could do some squats, 15 squats, you wait an hour and then you do 15 again. You're still getting the result, in opposed to, you know, like saying, I don't have an hour, I'm just not gonna do it, period.
Right.
It adds up. So we create all the infrastructures, diabetes education, cancer education.
And you give all this to the company or to the client?
Yes. So corporations, depending on like what they want, they're like, we'll collect data, number one, and then we'll present it back to them with our findings in aggregate form, like, hey, this is how many employees have diabetes or are at high health risk, or these are the high health risks.
Y'all go that deep with that shit?
Absolutely. So, like, collecting all that using like HRA forms or PHA forms to really break down and say, because a lot of the individuals, the employees might feel like, oh, this is only for the company to save money on healthcare, so we don't want to participate. But our approach is showing them like, we help you identify problems you actually have for yourself, and you're like, ooh, okay, this is the perceived outcome. If I take this step, or if I don't take this step, it could result in me getting cancer. It could result in me not being able to end up getting going on dialysis and things like that. And how we show you these are the steps to prevent that. And if you have those pre-existing diseases or complications, what can you do to manage it or reverse it, eradicate it altogether?
So now, Felix, this ain't just no like 2-3 week thing, and you go and get your check and you bounce. You, from what I'm hearing, it seems as though you're there for the long term.
Absolutely.
Because you're collecting all of this data about these people, and you're really there to help them change their life, man, and go from being sickly to well.
Absolutely. Like realizing that, number one, the healthcare system isn't healthcare. It's disease management. It's like it's not teaching you how to live well. It's not. That's not the purpose of the healthcare system.
Not preventative.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not preventative whatsoever. So our approach is, number one, educating, building awareness. So building awareness through educating the user. It's like, what is it that I'm actually dealing with for myself? And people really, honestly, it doesn't matter like what you might tell somebody. A lot of people won't take that action step until it's too late. Until the doctor says, yo, man, like, you gotta take this medication, and they start stacking up medications, and people don't realize that the more medications you're on, it's not side effects. It's
the more sick you are.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just stacking up all these stuff. They're giving you more and more and more and more problems. And that's why you see people's health deteriorating. It's like
on medication.
Yeah, on medication.
Now you worry because it's oh man.
You worry, stress, psychosomatic illness.
Because you're taking all of this medication. That shit crazy, man.